The Park City Miners complete the three-peat and are once again state champions, but they are not done just yet. Also, Brigham Harris chats with some of the younger up-and-coming talent that will soon be the faces of this Park City dynasty. And lastly, Brent Martindale talks with Coach James Balstead following their first back-to-back wins since the beginning of region play. All that and more coming up right now on the Scoreboard. Hey everybody, welcome into the Scoreboard. I'm your host, Blake O'Rulian. It's February 15th, 2022, the day after Valentine's Day. And while most of you were probably out at romantic dinners, spending time with your loved ones, Brigham and I were watching some state championship hockey. And the Park City Miners just so happened to now be the back-to-back championships. That's right, they hit their three-peat and they are now the state champions once again. So coming up in today's show, we're going to be talking a lot to them, a couple of different players, from seniors down to freshmen and sophomores as well. We also got a little bit of a small win streak over in Heber at Wasatch High School. Brent Martindale was able to sit down and talk with Coach James Balstead about their recent success as region play comes to a close. But first, we do want to talk a little bit more about what's going on this week in sports. It's the last week of region play. It's the last week of the regular season of basketball. So we are winding down in this last week of region. As I said, the Wasatch boys have seemed to hit a new stride after winning their last two games. The boys will host Spanish Fork for their final home game of the regular season. As for the girls, they will also host their final home game against Spanish Fork tonight at 5:15. In their last outing, the Wasps took care of business with ease, beating them 39-23. Speaking of beating teams with ease, the North Summit girls basketball team seemed to do that during all of region play. The Braves closed out the season last week, placing second in the 2A region, and looks forward to competing in the state tournament in a couple of weeks. As for the boys, they have a big game tomorrow in the first round of the 2A tournament. North Summit will host Utah Military Camp Williams at 7 p.m. And the Braves are not the only team with a big tournament game tomorrow. The Summit County rival South Summit hosts Grand High School tomorrow night in the first round of the 3A tournament. As for the girls, they have no games scheduled until the state tournament. However, they did place fourth in region. Moving right on up to Park City, the boys host their senior night as well tonight at 7 p.m. as they face Murray. The Miners looking to sneak out another win before the close of region play. Girls basketball will be at Murray tonight and then host East High on Friday night for their senior night. When we come back, we're actually going to be talking to Colton McIntyre. He is an unbelievable talent, a 4-year starter, a 3-time state champion over for the Park City hockey team. He is a goalie who was able to not have a single point scored on him throughout the entirety of these playoffs, and all of those games actually the Miners won 6-0. So 6-0, 6-0, 6-0 to lead to the state championship. So when we come back, we're going to be talking to the very talented Colton McIntyre.
The Scoreboard is proudly sponsored by Andrea Cox Mortgage. Welcome to First Rate Mortgage.
My name's James, and I've been in the market for mortgages several times over the years, so I've gone through the process with different people. And when I met Andrea, she explained to me why my current loans were subpar and how she could get better loans with better rates.
If I had to describe Andrea in one word, I think I would use the word passionate. She is very passionate about what she does and getting the right solutions for her clients, and that made her an absolute pleasure to work with.
Hi, I'm Andrea Cox. You can reach me at 435-631-9262. Call me, text me, or you can reach me at my website, andreacoxmortgage.com.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Scoreboard. Now, as mentioned earlier before we went to break, we are going to be talking to Park City senior Colton McIntyre, the goalie of the three-time state champion Park City Miners hockey team. Now, Colton McIntyre is an incredible talent. He had 0 points scored on him throughout the entirety of the Utah State playoffs. And also last night, he had 16 shots on him. There were 16 shots on his goal, and he was able to block every single one of them, getting the shutout. And also, not only that, but Colton is an incredibly selfless player. He didn't give himself all the praise in this interview. He gave it to his teammates. He gave it to his coaches. And so with that, this is me talking to Colton McIntyre right after they won the Utah State title.
Guys, I am here with a state champion in Colton McIntyre. Colton, you just won your third.
Let's go!
You just won your third straight state championship as a starting goalie. How do you feel right now?
I feel fantastic, honestly. It's a great feeling. I'm glad I get to share it with all these fantastic boys. I couldn't have done it without them. Every single year, we've been able to pull together as a team, and as you can see, they're happy, and I'm glad we get this for them.
Colton, you had an incredible game. 16 shots on goal, 0 goals, not to mention a shutout throughout the entire state playoffs. How does that make you feel?
It feels good, but again, I can't do that without any of these guys. They're keeping shots outside every single game. All the pucks that I got were just easy floaters. So honestly, it's mostly them that's doing this.
Do you feel like you've been a leader on this team? And if so, who do you feel like is going to be able to step into those shoes once you leave this team?
Well, we got a lot of seniors this year. 2 of my fellow seniors are captains with myself. Next year, we've got a great group. A lot of sophomores who stepped up throughout the playoffs. They showed great leadership skills. And honestly, I think we're going to have a great team next year, especially with leadership involved.
What do you think is the thing that distinguishes this team as being a great team? Not only did you win the state championship this year, you've won it in years past as well. What is it about this team that is so special?
Well, one thing is we're just really good at coming together as a family. Like, a lot of other teams are individual, they don't practice together a lot, but we come together at practices, we come together at games, we do team dinners. It's just like it's a big family. And our coaches do a great job of bringing us together, like the parents of the team. It's just a great environment for everyone.
It's Coach Jack Skilly's first season as his head coach. However, he seemed to come right into play and seemed to pick up right where you guys left off. What has it been like to be able to be coached by him?
It's fantastic. He's one of my favorite coaches. He came in first year, absolutely knocked it out of the park. I mean, it was incredible. He did some great things for this team and with this team. And, well, for example, during that game, after the second period, we're up by a decent amount. And that's when you start playing icings to get the clock going.
Yeah.
I remember, like, Coach Skilly, should I start playing the puck? He said, no, I want to bury this team. So one of the best answers I've ever heard. And, oh, my God, I love the guy.
It's really, I mean, it's absolutely incredible that you've been able to pull off this shutout. Is that a normal thing for you, or do you think that that's something that you've been able to step up during playoffs?
Well, every time I get a shutout, every time we get a shutout, it's special. No matter what team we're playing, no matter how many shots we get, it's just a special time. In playoffs, I feel like we did turn it up a notch, which is why we were able to get these shutouts because of how well we played together. These last 2 games were the best hockey that I've seen all year from this team.
You played a very, very tough Brighton team, who, by the way, you guys lost to earlier in the season. Were you guys worried coming into this game?
We were a little worried and skeptical. With every game, you have to treat it like it's a lose or die. We did come into this game with 2 losses to get out, to get knocked, but knowing this team, we were able to band together and just absolutely bury them, even knowing that we lost to them last time we played them.
I know you're on the goalkeeping side, but in the second period, you guys hit 5 goals in about 12 minutes or so. Did that pick up the morale? Did that change the feeling once that second goal happened, I guess?
Oh, without a doubt. Going in after the first 1-0 lead, I was getting a little nervous. I saw a decent amount of shots, more than I usually see in the first. But that second period, I got maybe 2-3 shots, and we bagged a lot of goals. And I saw the student section, they lifted us up. We lifted them up. I could just tell by the energy on the bench and on the ice that we were just ready to go from there on.
Yeah, you guys were the away team, yet it seemed like you guys were the home team with that insane student section. How much did they help out?
A fantastic amount. I mean, we love when they come down. They support us at home games, too. It's one of the things I love about our high school, that the students get involved that much. I mean, it really helps us a lot, and we're glad that we can put on a good show for them.
How does this one compare to the other ones that you've won, the other state championships?
Well, of course, it's my senior year, probably my last game of hockey in the state of Utah, which is a huge deal for me and my other seniors that are going to be leaving next year. So this one, it feels really, really good.
Speaking of that, it's not your last game in the country. You got Dallas coming up in about 40 days, what Coach Thiele said. What do you want this team to work on in order to get as far as you can in that national championship tournament?
Well, honestly, the teams we're going to be seeing are going to be a lot better at nationals. We saw that last year. And as you might know, a team from Utah has never won a game at nationals. So we're hoping to be the first team to do that.
Absolutely. Well, good luck. Thank you so much, and you did an incredible job tonight.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
Colton, thank you so much and good luck. We actually talked to him off screen after the interview, and he hopes to potentially play some minor league hockey as his next steps towards potentially becoming an NHL goalie, which is absolutely a big, ambitious goal, but something he can absolutely do. What an incredible talent. And good luck to everybody in Dallas next month when they go over to that national championship tournament as well. Good luck to them. We are very excited, and maybe we get to cover it. Who knows? But with that, we will be right back here on the Scoreboard. We're going to be talking a little bit more hockey when we come right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa, and I've been working in the field of psychiatry for over 20 years. Given that so many patients are resistant to many treatment modalities, I began learning about a procedure called TMS, or transcranial magnetic stimulation. In my clinical experience, I've run into several patients who are treatment resistant to some of the modalities that we currently use to treat depression, anxiety, and so many other things. That's why I learned more about TMS. TMS is a non-invasive treatment that treats specific regions of the brain involved in mood, anxiety, and thinking abilities. And I love that TMS is well tolerated by most individuals and has very few side effects. My mission as a doctor is to walk with you towards your unique wellness goal. Contact our office to learn more and find out if TMS is right for you.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Scoreboard. I'm your host, Blake O'Rulian. Now, we're going to stay on this track with the Park City Miners hockey team, considering that they just won the state championship. We have a state champion right here in our backyard in the Park City Miners. And not only that, but potentially a dynasty. I mean, 3 straight state championships is an incredible feat for a high school team, considering that people come and go so quickly. But with that being said, we wanted to talk to now the younger generation. We talked to Colton McIntyre, the senior, the one who's going to be graduating, one of the big names and the big captains, but we wanted to talk about some of the younger generation. There's a lot of very talented up-and-coming hockey players that are going to be on this team in the next couple of years who are here to stay. So Brigham Harris was able to talk to some of the younger generation talent, and that is Liam Van Valkenburg, who scored 2 goals in about 90 seconds in the game. And he was really the spark plug that created this blowout win, because at first it seemed like it was going to be a very close matchup. In the first period, they were only up by 1 goal. Coming into the second, Liam was able to hit 1 goal, put them up by 2, and then within 90 seconds, he scored a second goal, putting them up by 3. And at that point, it was just on from there. So with that, here is Brigham Harris and Liam Van Valkenburg.
Hey, what's up everyone? Brigham Harris here for the Scoreboard. Right now I am joined by Liam Van Valkenburg. Liam, my first question for you, you're only a sophomore, but you are now a 2-time state champion. How do you feel?
I mean, it feels good. I think we had a big goal the whole year, and even last year. Switching coaches is definitely a big step, but I think Coach Skilly put us in the right direction, and we had a plan from the beginning, which was to get to playoffs, to get to states, and eventually win the state championship, which could bring us to natties and hopefully make history at nationals.
Yeah. We spoke to one of your teammates about making history, being the first team from Utah winning a game at nationals. Let's talk a little bit about you and tonight. You guys ran away with a 6-0 victory over Brighton. Fantastic game, and in my opinion, you scored the 2 pivotal goals. You guys were up 1-0 going into the second period, and you had 2 goals within like 90 seconds. When you were skating past what seemed like 3 to 4 other opposing players, what was going through your mind as you head towards goal?
I mean, I think it's my style of player just to hold on to the puck and be as creative as I can, but usually I like to look for my teammates, but hold on to the puck as much as I can because I know I can control the game if I want to. And I was just kind of in the zone, controlling the game, holding the puck, looking for someone. But then I got to the slot and the shot opened up, so I just ripped it.
Yeah, well, we've got awesome video of that, so I'm excited to watch that back. But you're basically the Steph Curry of this team, young, quick, fast, very talented. You're only a sophomore. That's something we're going to talk a lot about. What are your goals for junior and senior year? I mean, they can't get much more lofty than winning nationals, winning another state championship, but what's in the books for you?
Hopefully I can, this year I played AA for Park City Ice Miners, but hopefully I can move away next year, move to out of state, Midwest, East Coast, play for a AAA team, a little higher level, or I can play prep school next year. And I think the levels only get better, the kids will only get better, and it'll really help challenge me and get better.
Well, you're definitely a leader, like we said, on this team just as a sophomore. Before the game, actually, we talked to Coach Jack Skilly, and he talked about how he was going to give you the lineup to read to the rest of the team. It seems like he trusts you so much as a leader. How does that make you feel, this former NHL player as a coach, and he's basically giving you the reins to his team?
I think in Park City we definitely have a good opportunity with Skilly and his experience, but I think me and Skilly have a pretty good relationship over the summer. I've done skates with him, and I think he's really progressed. He's helped me progress, and we've both learned off each other, and we've both learned how to work with each other.
Well, again, we congratulate you, two-time state champ. Are we going to see a third and a fourth maybe from Lee and Van Valkenburg?
Hopefully. I hope I can do the same if I move away, but if I stay here, definitely more is to come.
Well, personally, being a Park City resident, I hope you stay here. I hope we see you on the ice again. Again, congratulations, and wish you the best of luck at Nationals.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Liam, thank you so much for talking to us. Amidst all the chaos that was going on in that locker room, I mean, they were blasting music, they were having so much fun, they were having the time of their lives, and rightfully so, because they are, once again, state champions. When we come back, we're going to be moving over from Park City over to Wasatch High School to talk to Coach James Balstead. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Scoreboard.
Hi guys, I'm Janet the Dairy King. We're famous here for our ice cream. We have 84 different kinds of shapes. We also have some amazing food. So come and try our chicken strips, our fish and chips dinners, our burgers, our fries, our sweet potato fries. Oh my gosh, we've got so much. Once you go over to the Heber Valley Railroad and ride their train, then of course you have to come here and see all of our trains. Our family's serving your family since 1946. We hope to see you soon here at the Dairy King.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Scoreboard. I am your host, Blake O'Rulian. Now, we wanted to go over to Coach James Balstead and Brent Martindale to talk a little bit about the recent successes of the Wasatch boys basketball team. They've had a rougher season. They've had some wins, couple win streaks, couple loss streaks. They've been kind of all over the place. They're a very talented team, but they're also in a very talented region. So it's very difficult for them to get on these big streaks. But right now they are on one. They've won 2 in a row, the first time since the beginning of region play. So Brent Martindale wanted to talk to Coach James Balstead about that, what the team is looking forward to going into the end of the season and then the state tournament. He also wanted to talk a little bit about what the team is feeling right now, and Coach Balstead really just mentioned, hey, you have to enjoy this moment. So with that, we'll go over to Coach Balstead and Brent Martindale.
Hey everybody, we are with Coach James Balstead of the Wasatch High School boys basketball team after a big win, Region 9 over number 10 RPI Springville Red Devils. Congratulations, Coach. Thanks for joining us. Let's talk just a little bit about first the overall feeling of how this is for you, how you're feeling, and what it does for the program.
It's a big win. It's been 4 years, I think, since we beat Springville, like we talked about. I think for the boys, you saw us celebrating after the game. It looked like we won a region championship. But we need those. We've had a little bit of a skid. We got Provo the other night. Springville's a great team. Like you said, they're number 10. I talked in the locker room before we came out and let the guys know. I said where we sit in RPI right now, if we started today, we would play Springville. And I said, let's go treat this like a first-round game. That's why we celebrated that way. So they're a tough team. Nadal is a big deal. He's a great player. We tried to shut him down. We couldn't, so we focused on shutting everybody else down. And I thought the guys did a great job. I think Nadal was the only one in double digits on their team.
We wanted that too.
Big night for Mitch Lind on our hit some huge shots. I think 19 with 7 shots, I think. So a lot of that came from the foul line. He hit some big foul shots for us. That was that won the game right at the end. That was a big deal. I thought our defense was really great at times. Just fighting and clawing. Will Santiago came in. We call him Tiny. Tiny Todd is his name because he looks just like his dad. But he came in and hit some big shots, and his defense was phenomenal. Like, he had some aggressive stops, diving on the ball steals. Those winning plays are what make a difference, and we did it tonight. We had a lot of guys doing that.
So you're talking about, you mentioned the RPI. We were looking at that. Of course, now you'll move up a little bit in the RPI. Corey and I were talking about the game. How important is it to get in that range of hosting the first round game?
Honestly, at this point, I'm not as worried about that as I am peaking when we need to peak. I looked at it, if we get higher up, we get an 18, 19, or an 18, 17 or whatever, we start moving that range. Second round, we're having to play a number 2 or a number 1 seed. So we're actually sitting in a pretty good spot, but I'm more concerned with how we're playing. I think we can beat a lot of teams in the state. We can beat any team in the state if we're playing great. There's some good teams out there, but if we're coming together, we obviously have a couple injuries that Sam Lind is injured now, and so he's out. I don't know when he'll be back, but guys are stepping up, and so that's what I'm more worried about, concerned about, that we make sure that we're peaking when we need to peak.
Yeah, that was actually the next question. So struggling a little bit that way, this becomes really big. I mean, you're going to get Jackson Anderson back, correct, soon?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
And so, again, momentum. You have now coming up another home game, which, the crowd tonight, holy smokes, that just makes such a difference. And then a big game at Maple. So are you looking way down the road, or are you just looking at the next step?
It's funny. We talked about that in the locker room as well. I said, guys, what's our next step? And they all said Spanish. I said, no, it's celebrating tonight. We have a blast tonight, have a good time, enjoy this. And then the very next step is doing junior jazz tomorrow. We got to do a clinic with the junior jazz, and then it's Spanish Fork. Okay. And we'll be zeroed in on that. That is honestly what we're worried about right now. We have a great time tonight. Spanish Fork's up next, and we owe them one.
We looked and figured it wasn't showing a score of the Spanish Fork game, but you figure probably going to beat Provo. We did notice the other ones, Salem Hills. Looks like they did win, and so you're in a position now where you're going to be tied for third with teams. Again, are you thinking that stuff? Is the motivation really just at this point lining up for state?
The motivation has been to win a region title, and that's not all in our hands right now. Salem has to do some things, and that may not work if they won tonight. But that's a big motivation. But you're exactly right. Lining up when we need to. We need to worry about Spanish Fork, be good then, and then be good against Maple, and then look who we have.
Looking at some stats just in our last 30 seconds here, 15 lead changes in that game. According to also our numbers, turnovers are down a little bit tonight and causing Springville a lot of turnovers. Is that one of the little things you're looking at with the team?
Huge. That is a huge little thing. That's an important thing, I guess I should say. We talk about that all the time. I thought the lead changes, obviously, that's a good team, and I loved our poise when it got tight. But the turnovers were big. I think we had 7 in the first half, if I remember if our stats were correct. And I didn't even see what we ended with. Rebound-wise, we were trying to win the rebound battle. We lost it by 1. We were down 6. I think it was 16-10 for them at halftime. So it ended 25-24 maybe or something like that. So we out-rebounded them second half when it was huge. So, but you're right, those are little things. Those are winning plays that make a huge difference. We took care of the ball a little bit more.
James Balstead, Wasatch High School, 2 games left in the region, 1 home game. Best of luck to you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Coach Balstead, thank you so much. You are always so gracious with your time. You're always so helpful to be able to talk to us, let us know when players are available to talk. We're always able to make it over to Wasatch and give you some time to talk to us here on the Scoreboard. So we really appreciate it. And Brent, thank you so much for getting that interview. That was great. So when we come back, we're going to be closing off the show, and we're going to be talking a little bit about what to expect on Friday, because it is going to be a very exciting show. We've got another potential show full of state championships. So it's not just hockey, but it's potentially wrestlers as well. So when we get back, we'll be telling you a little bit more about that. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Scoreboard.
Historic Deerfield is significant as a site because we're an important place in American history. All but a few of the historic houses are on their original home lots. The original town plan from the 1670s is still in place. The town retains its original scale, and in many of the houses we have objects connected to Deerfield, the Connecticut River Valley, and New England. And all of this together helps to convey a deep sense of place.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Scoreboard, and this is it. This is the end of the show, so we wanted to thank everyone for watching. We want to thank the coaches, the athletic directors, the athletes that we get to cover. We love what we do, and we are so grateful for the opportunity to do so. On Friday, we are going to have a lot of wrestling on the show. We haven't been talking a whole lot of wrestling, but that's because we've been gearing up for this huge state tournament. So similar to the All-Star Duels, the best of the best are going to be competing. That's all that's left. It's just the state tournament. So we are going to be there for the next couple of days. We're going to be interviewing every single wrestler that we can, every single state champion that we can, every single coach. We're going to try to get as much content as we possibly can. And we might even mic up a coach and maybe see what they react to when one of their wrestlers wins the state championship. So we wanted to make sure that we get as much quality content out to you guys every single show. So with that, thank you so much for watching. And make sure to check out our social pages over at Scoreboard Nation. We get game highlights, trailers for our episodes. We have fun filters, we have fun challenges. You can see what we're up to, and also if you send in your highlights, we will make awesome edits for you guys. We always do them for anyone's parents who show us their kids' highlights, and so if you have a highlight, a game highlight of one of the schools that we cover, we will make an edit out of it and we will make it very fun and put it on our Instagram. So please send us in those things. You can also go to our website to check out any old interview, old episode at thescoreboardnation.com, or you can check us out here on Park City TV on Tuesdays and Fridays at 6 and 10 p.m. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on Friday when we're talking to a ton more state champions.